Hello, Moab adventure seekers. I would like to share with you an exciting hike to the Moab Maiden rock art site. The site is located just off of the river at the Jackson's parking area. This site has what is believed to be the Moab Maiden. You can see from the pictures that maybe she has breast, not sure, but I find the resemblance to this area that looks similar to the birthing rock that is right down the street. So maybe they were made in the same time period, maybe the same artist. There's also some other exciting um, things in this area. You can see what may have once been some Kivas, two distinct round structures that the foundations are still present. And there's also a granary located across this this open area right here. If you look all the way over to the far wall of the next to the Colorado River, there's a well-preserved granary here. Later in the day, I decided to come back with another friend, and we were doing some exploring in the area, and we found this cave. Surprised I've never seen it before, but the cave was right behind the maiden panel, and it goes into a crack, and you can crawl through it for a pretty good ways, and then you will eventually come out in an area, the face of a cliff wall, and you were overlooking the Amasa parking area high above where everyone is parked, and you can see down onto Kane Creek Road, and you can watch the Jeeps and everything else as they go by, and they have no idea that you are way up on the side of this cliff looking at them. Even from here, you can see that's what you'll look like from this drone shot, that you just got your head poking out just a little bit from the edge of this cliff. After exploring the cave, you can continue past the rock art site out onto a kind of a high exposed tongue that sticks out. It's a meander in Kane Creek. You can see the creek down there, and the creek just makes a big arch around the edge of this rock. It's a pretty neat place to come out and get some impressive views, especially if you get there at the right time with the lighting. It can be a pretty special little place, and it's just so easy to get to, especially if you're already up by the Maiden rock art panel. It's just right there at it. And then you're directly across from Tombstone Rock, so there's a good chance you might find some crazy people jumping off the rock, and you can watch them. It's a little nerve-wracking to watch these people. You're just hoping that they don't go splat down there on the rock. But after watching a few people jump from the rock, if you're lucky enough to be there at the same time they are, you can walk towards the other side of the panel, and you can explore along the edge of the cliff. You can actually get up next to the edge of the cliff, and you can walk back into a pocket that's pretty far back against the wall. I've walked up here before, and I've just kind of glanced over, and I didn't really think that there was enough ledge that you could walk out on this. But this time with my buddy here, he's kind of a big time explorer, so he just kept going. And this is something I probably would not have done on my own, but he kept going, and you can keep going out onto this shelf and go for a good long ways. It's kind of remind me of Lewis Lodge down near Monticello, how walk out on the exposed rock there. But you can see off to the left right here is the little trail that we were going to go down. You could barely catch a glimpse of it there. There it is right there. You can see it. Doesn't look like much, but when you get out there, it is 4 or 5 feet wide. So you can continue on down it. The weird thing about it is the wind is coming from the Colorado River right as the river makes a bend right here. So it's a little nerve-wracking to get up here and walk across the edge because the wind's tussling you a little bit, and it kind of gets your heart rate up, to say the least. You can see the bushes kind of wiggling some. You know how stiff bushes can be in the desert. So if they're wiggling, you know there's a pretty good wind going on here. But just like anything else, I'm a kid and I just want to keep going, keep exploring, see what's beyond the next thing. So we keep going, and you can crawl up actually into the rocks and go a pretty good ways back up into, it's not a cave, but it's a pretty interesting crack. It's a steep little climb. You can't really get the perspective here, but you can see he's just going straight up. I would have to say the cave was pretty neat, and I'm a sucker for a cave, but as far as the views go, between the cave, the Maiden, the point above the creek, I think that this area was probably the best. When you can see the views of the behind the rocks from right here, it's quite impressive to look down and be able to see across into the behind the rocks area, which is also a great area to go exploring. Other things in this area that you might want to see is directly across the street from where we are at now is the Magic Theater Arch. You can go up into those rocks that we're looking at, and there's a sizable arch. Unfortunately, it's kind of an alcove arch directly against the wall, and it's not very scenic as far as things compared to like Delicate Arch, but it is a large, huge arch. And then directly to the right of this, there's the Owl Panel, which is one of my favorite rock art sites in all of the Moab area. If you're interested in planning a trip to Moab and perhaps seeing the Moab Maiden or some of the other interesting sites in Moab, check us out at moabadventurecondo.com. We have great vacation rentals. It's way better than staying in a hotel. Come check us out and you will not be sorry. If you found us through this video, contact me directly and we can offer you a discount.